Hello everybody, so today is the 24th of November, which this year is the day Thanksgiving falls upon in the United States of America. To all my American viewers, happy Thanksgiving. On days that are supposed to be about positivity and happiness, but I guess I just couldn't let this one lie. What am I talking about, I hear you ask? Well.
Hello, this is Maggie Gallagher for the Culture War Victory Fund. A few weeks ago in Minneapolis, a young mother, call her Melanie, asked me a question. How do I talk about gay marriage over Thanksgiving?
Was that really so important that you had to interrupt your own haircut to address it? Yeah, I made a joke about her shit hair. Too easy? I don't fucking care.
Well, she'd heard me give the big long speech, and now she was asking me for the talking points. Those very special talking points that could help her stand her ground over the mashed potatoes and gravies, all without fueling a family mashup. She, like many of us, come from families with diverse points of view on abortion, on religion, but somehow gay marriage has become for many people an especially difficult flashpoint. Probably it's the imbalance. Most of us who believe marriage is the union of husband and wife have no interest in shaming those who disagree with us.
Possibly because there's absolutely no shame in holding that opinion.
We understand good people can disagree, even on extremely important moral issues. But like it or not, the gay marriage movement has cultivated a rather low threshold for moral indignation. If you don't think two men in a union are a marriage, a bigot, like people who wanted to hold back African Americans, too many elite voices claim.
Yeah, something I have absolutely no problem with. It is very easy and it does require very little effort to be indignant about bigotry.
Well, that sentiment sometimes translates into some pretty uncomfortable holiday dinner conversation. So here, in case you, like Melanie, also need some handy ammo for the holidays, is how to talk turkey about gay marriage. Step 1. Briefly, try this. Marriage is the union of husband and wife for a reason. These are the only unions that can make new life and give those children a mom and a dad, if they have children.
See, that is a massive oversimplification of what the entire issue is about. First of all, the actual act of creating new life is far less important than raising that life. And as has been indicated by study after study after study, gay people are no less capable than heterosexuals at raising children. There's also the fact that a lot of people have children outside of marriages and choose to do so, or decide to get married and not have children. Marriage is simply not, for most people, the be-all and end-all when it comes to having kids. And portraying it as such is quite disingenuous. The main reason people get married is A, simply just for the social convention, and B, for the rights. Now a lot of people, both gay and straight, are going to say, oh well, I don't need marriage, I don't need a piece of paper to legitimize my love, and that's fair enough, that's a whole other argument. The fact of the matter is, for a lot of people, when you're in a relationship and it gets to a certain point, you just get married. That's it. The more important issue is the rights. I know that in my country, the United Kingdom, and I assume in the United States, marriage confers thousands of extra rights and legal benefits on a couple. That is the important thing here.
Well, other unions may have wonderful qualities, but they are not marriages, and we shouldn't be forced by government to pretend they are.
While other unions may have wonderful qualities, that's odd for you to say, Maggie Gallagher, considering the fact that not only do you not believe that gay people should be allowed to get married, you also don't believe that gay people should be allowed to get civil unions or domestic partnerships. Apparently, domestic partner benefits, the actual rights, the legal benefits, erode the status of heterosexual marriage. To be able to make decisions with and about their partner or children. And all the numerous tax and legal benefits that go along with marriage apparently erode the status of heterosexual marriage. Just the status, just being up on your fucking pedestal. When she's saying, oh well, other unions have wonderful qualities, she's not even saying separate but equal. She's literally saying that gay people should not have equivalent legal rights because it would devalue heterosexual marriages. Not their rights, just their status as being married. And on top of all that, she's saying that pro-gay marriage people are trying to force their definition of marriage on other people. She has the gall to say that. Let me tell you something, Maggie. Marriage is a legal term. If you want to believe certain things about your particular opinion of religious marriage, that's fine. But you are not being forced to gay marry. You're not going to be banned from having heterosexual marriages. And religious institutions are not going to be forced to marry gay people if they don't want to. The legal definition of marriage is completely distinct and independent of your particular opinion on what marriage is in the grand scheme of things, spiritually, because of your religion or your views on raising children. The only thing you are being forced to accept is that other people, not you, other people have the right to form a legal union with equal rights and of the same status. That's all that pro-gay rights people are asking for. Their rights and their legal recognition. If you then want to take your legal marriage and turn it into something that is blessed by God, that is supremely heterosexual, and is there for the express intent of raising children, you can believe that for yourself. But other people absolutely have the right to have the same legal marriage as you and have it not be religious, not be heterosexual, and not be about having kids. And you have the audacity to say that gay people and people who support gay marriage in general are imposing that belief on you. When you are part of an organisation that encourages people to go out and vote on other people's rights, you can have your opinion on your own marriage, but you don't get to say what other people can do with theirs.
If you still get fireworks, charges of bigotry, discrimination, hatred, or insensitivity, have this response handy. Step 2. Refute briefly the charge of bigotry. It's not bigoted or hateful or discriminatory to treat different things differently. It's common sense.
That's misleading. No, it isn't necessarily bigoted to treat different things differently. It is in this particular case. You've got two couples here who both love each other, both want to form a union, maybe start a family, and you're saying that one couple can't because of the particular combination of the sex of each individual. In this case, treating those people differently is bigotry.
Well, if the fireworks continue and you want to move on with a nice family dinner without surrendering your ground, move on to step 3. A call to tolerance. Step 3. I think we need to be tolerant of each other's sincere moral differences on these hot-button issues, especially inside families. The millions of Americans like me who do not support gay marriage are not all haters or bigots, and it's really not kind or tolerant to suggest otherwise, especially among family members.
So you're asking people to be tolerant of your intolerance. That's completely nonsensical and it's messed up. Again, you have the gall, you have the audacity to say that you're the one who isn't being tolerated. I would argue that it might be a good idea to be civil, but people absolutely do not have to be tolerant of your intolerance. That is absurd.
Repeat step 3 as often as necessary, or until they bring in the pie, which usually stops the worst of the fight.
Eat my shit. Treating this issue with such flippancy. Like it's a joke. You're trying to pass this issue off as a agree to disagree issue. Some examples of agree to disagree issues are, can video games be considered art? Or, was Gwen Stefani better in No Doubt or as a solo artist? Those are agree to disagree issues. But being so flippant and trying to add humour about this particular issue, about you voting to take away people's rights, isn't going to fly with me, and I hope it doesn't fly with you, denizens of the internet. How dare you say, oh, the pie solves everything. Fuck off.
Remember, this Thanksgiving, you can stand your ground. You can state your views briefly, refute the charge of hatred and discrimination, and call on family and friends to be tolerant of one another in the midst of serious moral disagreement. You can stand your ground on same-sex marriage and have the moral high ground too. Wishing you and your family a very, very happy and blessed Thanksgiving. This is Maggie Gallagher for the Culture War Victory Fund.
Piss off. Now, you may be asking yourself, Jacob, why are you responding to this? You've already expressed your opinions about gay marriage. Aren't you just beating a dead horse? We know what your opinions are. We know what the arguments are. Aren't you just preaching to the choir? With respect to the subscribers of mine that are watching this, yeah, maybe. But this is one of those issues that really does bear repeating. If I can reinforce people's opinions on this, or change people's opinions on this, or even get someone to be motivated to send this to someone else, send this video to a friend or a family member, and get them to change their mind, that is absolutely worth it, and I'm going to keep repeating this message. If you're getting tired of it, don't watch my videos on gay rights. But I think the biggest reason that I actually chose to respond to this video in particular is absolutely the way that she frames it, the way that she presents her argument. She actually thinks she's being reasonable when she's telling people to be tolerant of their intolerance, when she's part of an organisation, the Culture War Victory Fund, and was the president of the National Organisation for Marriage, or NOM as it's known, that encourages people to go out and vote on the rights of other people. People that have nothing to do with them. And we're supposed to be just tolerant of that and just accept your shitty jokes about pie? This entire video is supposed to be about getting people to calm down and be civil over their discussions about gay marriage at Thanksgiving. But honestly, and I can't speak for other people, I can't speak for Americans, I don't give a shit if that discussion would ruin my Thanksgiving. I'm not the kind of person who sits there and tolerates intolerance. Personally, I would feel like it would be a failing on my part if I did downplay the issue and I didn't say anything. In exactly the same way that she would hopefully respond with disgust to racism, anti-Semitism, and sexism. This entire video is about trying to downplay and trying to make palatable discrimination. It isn't just some bigot who's ranting on about how gays are disgusting and evil and deserve to go to hell and shouldn't have rights. In many ways, that makes me less angry because I can just write that person off as being an absolute nut job and a hater. The fact that she's trying to dress this message up in nice words and with jokes really, really fucking infuriates me. Maggie Gallagher, the Culture War Victory Fund, and fuck it, the National Organisation for Marriage, you deserve every ounce of ire and every negative response you get. I hope people virulently oppose you and your pernicious views and actions. I hope they don't just sit there, and I hope they start shit. Happy Thanksgiving.